Joining us right now, courtesy of the Window Nation Guest Hotline, the head coach of the Maryland Terps. He is Coach Mike Locksley. What's going on, Coach?
Rob, what's going on? How you guys doing, man?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Thanks for your time this morning. Coming off of two tough losses where you had the lead against teams like Washington and Nebraska at home. Your last win was a conference win on the road against Wisconsin, and now you head to UCLA for a road game. What's the message to those young men this morning getting ready for the Bruins?
I think the big thing for us, man, as we talked about elevating this program is enduring. You know, we've had two really tough losses where we've lost by 7 points in the two games, and we've had the lead. And it's the fourth quarter finish for us. A week ago, I didn't think we competed very well, or 2 weeks ago, I didn't think we competed very well. This week, we took it down, to the zeros on the clock, but didn't make enough plays. And so what this team has to do, what we have to do as a program, is just kind of endure and see the small progress that was shown. I mean, we've had 3 straight games of playing really clean for the most part on offense. On defense, we've created and won the turnover battle, and so we're doing some good things, but not enough to finish. And that's, to me, what we have to endure through the tough parts of what we're going through, keep the main thing, and find a way to get our best players to make plays and for us to put them in the best position as coaches.
Hey, Coach, what can you tell me about Javian Thomas, the transfer from Cal? I didn't know much of Cal, but at UCLA, he's averaging over 4.5 yards a carry. How is their running game?
You know what? They ran the ball for about 200 yards a week ago against Michigan State. They've got a new coordinator there, Jerry Neuheisel, the son of Rick Neuheisel, who's with all the shifting of their staff, he's become the primary play caller, and they look a little different. But to see how they were able to run the ball a week ago against Michigan State, it's something that you can see that's been a point of emphasis to maybe take some of the pressure off of the quarterback, and they've even used the quarterback more in the run game, and he's made some plays with his feet.
Yeah, I mean, this UCLA team looks vastly different than the first couple of games I watched them. The last 2 games, it's a big win going on the road and playing the way they did against Michigan State, knocking off Penn State. What are you seeing different in them from the first couple of weeks, or have you got a chance to really break down everything?
No, we definitely, and this is a short week. We leave out of here Thursday morning at 5 a.m. to head out west to try to get acclimated with the time change. But there's no doubt, anytime a team almost sees death and they lost a coach, they lost their leader, and then they've been given a new life with, how they've won the last 2 games. And now they're playing with what I call is confidence and momentum, because they really have nothing to lose. And you can tell they're out playing very loose. They're playing aggressive. It's like when you're an interim, you get to play what I call house money. You can just take chances, and that's the way you should play all the time. And kudos to Tim Skipper, the job he's done as the interim of getting these guys to play hard, play for him, play for each other. And you can see it by the way they've played the last couple of weeks.
Coach Mike Locksley joined us, Baltimore's Big Bad Morning Show on the Fan. Coach, I want to go back to the conversation you had a little bit earlier about finishing. From a coaching standpoint, as far as you're concerned, is finishing learned behavior?
That's the tough part, because, as I always look at when we have those type of tough losses, I say, what could I do better? And I'll start with that part. For me, if you look at the way we finished the last couple of games in the fourth quarter, I've saw us not finish on the quarterback. Zaire Mathis didn't finish on the quarterback in an opportunity we had. We had an opportunity to get the ball on the ground and miss some tackles. Our best players have to play their best in the fourth quarter. And so for me as a coach, depth has been an issue for us all year long. And I've got to make sure I get some of these younger guys in earlier to maybe take a few plays off of the veteran guys that we have that are playing a bunch of snaps now. And so that in the fourth quarter, we're strong enough and able to finish the right way.
Coach, 7 o'clock start out in Los Angeles. How much, if at all, does it matter? Because it's like 10 o'clock at night for the bodies when you go out there. And if so, how do you acclimate to that?
Yeah, so it's actually opposite. We got the 4 o'clock start out there. It'll be 7 here when we play. So for us, we've played a night game. So the 4 p.m. start there is a 7 p.m. start, which we've had one night game thus far, and our team we prepare the right way. So we're fortunate. If it was a 7 o'clock start there, that's where the issue begins for us. And so we were taken care of, at least from that standpoint, that the 4 o'clock start aligns with us playing a typical 7 o'clock game here and getting out there early, getting acclimated, kind of getting our guys' bodies acclimated from that east to west coast travel, the hydration, all the things we got to do on the front end. We're trying to take care of, and then we'll get out there and go play.
And Coach, there's been we were just talking about it with the NFL, where it doesn't feel like there's a lot of great teams, and some of that's parity, some of it's mediocrity. You can draw the line wherever you want. Kind of feeling that same way in college football. I'm not saying there's not any great teams. There's a lot of good. Is that kind of how you feel going into it? Because I don't think there's anybody to really fear anymore.
Well, I think, and that's what's made it really unique for us as a program in terms of, this is where we can make our mark, because they've opened the door for us to create a little more parity, where it's not people with the most resources having the opportunity to compete and win championships. And parity is a good thing for football. We see how it drives the NFL, and even for us in college a year ago, to look at some of the teams that have made the jumps because of the resources and the way they've been able to get their programs going. So I like it. I think it's a plus for anybody that loves the Terps, because it gives us an opportunity now that maybe beforehand we didn't have, because of the amount of resources.
Coach, good luck to you out there on the left coast, taking care of those UCLA Bruins. We'll talk to you next week as you get ready for Indiana.
All right, guys. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, Coach. Went out there, take care of business against those Bruins. He talks about finishing. I always believed, from a coaching standpoint, finishing was learned behavior. You know what I mean? Because you can't. Some people say, well, at the end of the game, you treat it like any other time. You can't. It's impossible. Because that other team, if they're trailing, they're more desperate.
Because this is the first time that the other team knows what you're going to do, for the most part. Right. You can get cute. You can throw it. You see a design there, but you know what happens. You throw an incomplete pass, and your fan base goes, the hell are you throwing for? Exactly. We're trying to run out the clock. And that's what you deal with. And this was a big issue. If you go back to the Eagles, remember when they had Brian Westbrook? They could not close out games. That's Andy Reid there. For whatever reason, the smaller backs, it's like, hey, we can't close out a game when they know you're going to run the football. It's not like he wasn't a good running back, but you got all those guys in the box. You got to do something a little bit different.
You have to do something different. Jeremy Kahn's Daily Line at 9:30, couldn't get it out. But on the other side,
that's what she said.
There's a rumor that one star player is complaining to ownership about his coach. He had suggestion earlier that it could be perhaps in Cincinnati. And I asked the question, how do you know it's not from Baltimore? Baltimore's Big Bad Morning Show on the Fan.